So, where were you born? City and state.
I was born in Toledo, Ohio.
What's your occupation?
Occupation is of a lot of them. I'm a theater and filmmaker and a photographer.
What decade were you born?
What decade? I was born in the 80's, 1980s to be specific.
Now, as a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was a kid, I didn't. I know for a while I wanted to be a pediatrician. I really like kids, but it wasn't like anything. I was like, I'm gonna go do this and this and this in order to be a pediatrician. I was just like, oh, I just kind of thought that'd be neat. I also had fantasies about being a performer, but nothing I was really like, oh, I'm gonna do this seriously, or I was serious about it. I never really had a bunch of serious forethought into what I was gonna do. I feel like I was kind of fortunately stumbling through my grade school and high school days, and it wasn't until middle of college that I was like, I'm gonna pursue this. So yeah.
What has been the happiest moment in your life?
Marrying my wife. It was a good day.
What scares you the most?
I guess the thing that I actually worry most about is wasting time, wasting time long term. I got a lot of friends who, for instance, a lot of colleagues my age are already doing summer tours or are already at the equity level, and I feel like I'm on my way there, but not quite yet. And so I feel like am I somehow behind the curve or behind the algorithm of becoming continuing the arc of being a professional. And then weeks after worrying my head off about that, they're like, how do you get into film work? You've done all this film work and I can't do it because I only do theater and people don't think I can do film. So I realize sometimes that's just silly. That's just my own insecurities. But my own insecurities that I fret about are just being too late to something.
What are the most important personal choices you have made that have led you to where you currently are physically and emotionally?
Most important choices?
Personal choices.
To do theater, to move to Chicago, to wait for my wife before moving to Chicago, to fight to be with my wife when she wasn't sure she wanted to be with me, and yeah, those are it. Those are the big ones.
What's been your favorite vacation?
I think I want to say when we went to Sedona. Yeah, that was amazing. It was cool. I loved my honeymoon, but I really loved going to Sedona and the Grand Canyon. It was just a spiritual thing. It's very wonderful. I'd love to go back there sometime.
What are your current life goals?
I don't have big. I guess I do. The one kind of rule of thumb that I have, my wife and I have, is always to upgrade. So never make any change or shift in anything or take on a project or anything that means I'll have to give up something. I should be able to make it all work and to grow from here on. As far as New Year's resolutions, I think I want to continue to work at a major regional theater at least once a year. I want to show once a year. I want to travel for work, and I think if I continue that arc in the next year, then I'll be growing at a good pace.
What is one thing you're currently worrying about?
How I'm gonna survive this weekend. Because I have to. I'm taking a show that opens this weekend, in Evanston, and then I'm tomorrow morning at 8:45 in the morning. I'm shooting a wedding in Detroit, 5 hours east of here, at 8:45 in the morning, and then I've got to be, and that'll go until Saturday night, and then I've got to be back here by Sunday at 1:30 to close the show at Evanston. So it's actually more like 5.5 hours because Evanston is actually a half-hour drive. So that's what I'm currently fretting about.
What's one life lesson you can teach me?
Life lesson?
As if I had to have no concept of life.
No concept of life. Life lesson? I don't know if I have a life lesson. Let me think for a second. Hold on. Let me think. I don't know. I know. There are 7 billion people on this planet, and so the chances are very good that I will find someone else that is as good, or as talented, or as hardworking, or as handsome as you. So the only thing that I really need for you to do for me is just to be nice. And if you're not nice, I'll find someone else to do the job.
What's been the most difficult thing you've ever had to overcome?
Forgiving myself when I realized I made big mistakes, like huge mistakes, and being like, I'm still a good person. That was a big realization.
If you could travel back in time to your 10-year-old self, what advice would you give yourself?
You are worth way more than people are giving you credit for. Yeah, that's it. I hated my grade school. They were mean. They were just bullies. My high school wasn't bad. My high school was just like, whatever. Grade school was just a bunch of mean kids.
And last question.
All right.
If you could ask yourself a question 30 years from now, what would that question be?
If I could ask, so my 58-year-old self?
Sure.
If I could.
Any question?
I think I would ask her, I mean, I can't say any question, but it's one that pops to mind. I don't know what I'd actually say on the day. But I guess what comes to mind is, are you as happy today as you were 30 years ago? Comma, not end of question, but comma, if not, why? And then I would just change that shit.
Well, thanks, man.
But thank you. I look forward to reading your blog.